What up, guys? Sticking a string back at it again. Today is Talk It Out Tuesdays. I did not get any questions or comments about what to talk about or any questions anybody had. So it's kind of an omen. It's kind of an omen for me, excuse me. Because a topic came up that I saw on the news today. If anybody else is familiar with opiates, it's you know, an epidemic in the U.S. and in the world for that fact, that people are getting addicted to opiates. Fentanyl, Oxycontin, oxycodone, Vicodin, all these things, Xanax, all these things are causing people to overdose, and is just some really bad stuff. To put it mildly, I don't like it. I don't like how people misuse it. There's certain reasons and certain uses for it. Cancer patients, seizures. I have seizures. I take Xanax. I'm not gonna lie, but I use it in moderation. I use it when I need it, and I don't abuse it. I'm not a drug abuser. I don't, you know, pop 6 to 10 pills just to get the rush. I don't do that. I do it because I need it. But anyway, what we're going to talk about today is a boy by the name of Alton Banks. He was 10 years old, out of Miami, Florida, in the neighborhood of Overtown. Overtown is a poor neighborhood off of Interstate 95 in Miami, if anybody's familiar with that. It's a poor neighborhood where needles, trash, and drugs riddle the streets. A lot of us do know what that's like. I grew up in a poor neighborhood where I had to do, you know, where people did things that they had to do to survive. As well as some other families. You know, these families are lower class, middle class families trying to survive, and the struggle is real. I'll be honest, the struggle is real. So for this little kid, it's a sad story, and for his parents, my condolences go out to them. It's just a really sad story. I would hate for my child to go through this, or anybody in my family for that fact, even my worst enemy. So on with the story. Alton Banks at 10, he died on June 23rd from an overdose of fentanyl, which is an opiate, like I told you. A lot of people, they lace fentanyl, drug dealers particularly, they lace fentanyl with heroin. It's a heroin-like high, it gives you that rush and whatever. But it kills people. Honestly, it kills people. So Alton Banks, 10 years old in Miami, Florida. He went to a swimming pool in his local neighborhood over by Overtown. It's a couple blocks from his house. He went to a swimming pool, spent the day swimming, soaking up the sun, having fun with his friends. He went home that night, and his parents noticed that he was peckish and a little pale, vomiting. He was getting sick, and out of nowhere he fell down. His parents called the ambulance. The ambulance picked him up. You know, they tried to revive him, but he had overdosed. Nobody knew that at the time, but they tried to revive him, and he did die later on, pass away in the hospital. And I send out my condolences to his family. Like I said, I wouldn't wish this on anybody, especially a 10-year-old boy. I would fall apart if my child died from something like that. Now his parents couldn't understand what it was, if fentanyl had gotten into the water, or if fentanyl had been on a towel, or if they found a fentanyl patch or a fentanyl capsule, or whatever form they come in. I know they come in patches. They call them wafers, but they don't know how he got it. He must have ingested it. The doctors are thinking that it was on the ground. He thought it was a piece of candy and he ate it. Later on, it got him really sick. It was a little too much for him to handle, and he did pass away, which is really sad. Overtown is a poor neighborhood, like I said, where there's drugs, needles, and crime that riddles the place. He was at the pool. It's also littered with trash, drugs, and crime, you know, sadly. Place where our kids go, you know, and stuff like that's happening. It is what it is, and, you know, I'm not being biased by any means. It's really sad, and I'm the kind of person that would really, you know, try to get kids out of that environment, that would really try to refrain kids from going through that kind of thing. I went through it myself, and I'll tell you, it's a rough life, and you live with a lot of regrets in the long run, and it just doesn't work out for you. As far as the kid, he loved the Carolina Panthers. His favorite player was Cam Newton. He was a fun kid, his parents said. He wanted to be a civil engineer, believe it or not. He had high hopes, and sadly the kid can't do it now. It sucks, you know. He's in a better place. He's with God. If anybody believes in heaven, I do. I believe that everything happens for a reason. Although we look at it like, what reason, or why me, or why him, or why this? You know, it's just a sad situation. It's just a sad, sad situation. But really, the question I want to ask is, where was this kid's supervision? I mean, I understand I let my kids go outside to play by themselves, but a 10-year-old boy, I don't even let my 15-year-old daughter, you know, go off on her own without knowing where they're at. I understand the kid knew where his parents were. His parents knew where the kid was at, and that the pool wasn't a threat to them. But nowadays, you got to watch for everything. You know what I mean? Why let your kid go out alone when you can walk down the street and he gets stuck with a needle and get HIV or get AIDS or, you know, get HPV or get cut really badly or get caught in crossfire shootings? I mean, it happens every day, but it's, you know, it's the world we live in. People are doing things that they think are going to help them survive, and they're really tearing down people in their neighborhoods and in lives. It kind of frustrates me that little kids are going through this stuff. That no, they should be in school. They should be playing baseball. He should be playing football. He should be enjoying football. He should be enjoying the pool instead of, you know, and as well as family and his friends shouldn't, you know, people in their neighborhood shouldn't have to worry about your son going to a swimming pool and eating something he thinks is candy and then dying, or walking down the street and getting poked by a needle, or walking down the street and getting shot. I'm not putting any blame on the parents because it's not their fault. I'm not putting any blame on the child. It's not their fault. On the pool, it's not their fault. You know, they're trying to provide for the people around their neighborhood and give them a little light at the end of the tunnel. I fully understand that. But the police departments and legislation and their city council and their state senate and all these people that have the opportunities to change this stuff, to stop little kids like this from dying, put more cops in that area. Start arresting people that you see that are known drug dealers, that are, you know, that are polluting our youth. You know, we could step it up as people in our neighborhood. A lot of people don't want to do it because a lot of people, oh, he's a snitch because he's standing up for his neighborhood. But I'll tell you what, I'll be honest with you. People are around here tearing up other people's stuff, and my window's been broken because of my son's attitude towards people. They threw rocks at my house and busted my window. And I do have astrocytoma. I do have seizures. I am a sick person. And I had to chase down kids because a rock almost hit Bailey in the face as we came home one night because of my son's actions. You know, and I stood up for that. I would stand up for my neighborhood. If I saw something happening, I would really stand up and you know, try to end that stuff. But as far as the pool, I understand people, you know, areas and people are creatures of their environment. But let's step it up, people. Let's clean it up. What if you know, we're leaving guns laying around and drugs and stuff, and, you know, what if a kid finds this stuff? Look at Alton Banks. Sad story, man. The kid found a drug on the ground, ate it, and he passed away. So that makes everybody in their neighborhood think about it, man. What's going on in our neighborhood? What's going on in our cities? I understand there's not much we can do, like I said, but there is stuff that the police departments and the cities and everybody around us can do. But that's another thing. I'm not going to get all knee-deep into politics because I believe that as citizens, our opinion, they say our opinion matters, and they let us vote for who we put into places, but our opinion doesn't matter. Look at Trump. This guy is talking so much heinous, racist stuff about sending all these people back and making America great. America is great. America is great the way it is. We are the land of opportunity. We are the home of the free and the land of the brave. And aside from people coming into our country that we're training how to fly planes and blow up our buildings, we shouldn't discriminate against other people. We shouldn't be prejudiced. We shouldn't, because their skin is this color, or they speak this way, or they look this way, or they act this way. We shouldn't judge people. I've been judged all my life. All my life. And I'm not a bad person. I'm a great father. I love my kids. I love my family. I love God. And I'm just trying to do positive stuff and productive stuff, you know, to alleviate the struggle for my family. The struggle is real. And there's no way we can get around it. We can just deal. We can work with the cards we're dealt and live life. You know, life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. But, you know, as far as all that goes, I'm not going to rant too much longer about this. I'm not going to harp on it. But really, you know, we need to step it up as people. We need to step it up as parents, and we need to step it up as citizens in our cities, and take care of this stuff, man. If you see a needle, pick it up and throw it away. If you see a drug, pick it up and throw it away. Or if you see something, say something, man. You don't have to call the police. You don't have to do that. And you don't have to put your lives in danger. I'm not saying do that either. But what I'm saying is, if you see some stuff on the ground, baggies, needles, drugs, say something. Pick it up, throw it away, do something with it, man. Keep it, because this is what's happening. If we don't care about ourselves, let's care about somebody else. Let's care about children. 100% care about the kids. Let's do this for the kids. This is what I'm saying. If I see drugs or I see any of that stuff going on, I'm going to say something to those people and be like, look, man, my kids are right here, you know. They don't need to learn this. Same with everybody else. We should all stand up and say, look, this isn't going to happen here. My kids are out here. This is not going to happen. And I don't mean at the expense of getting shot because of some gang thug standing on a corner selling drugs. But, you know, it is what it is. Our world is the way it is. And we really need to take a stand and just protect ourselves and protect our neighborhoods, protect our children. That's what infuriates me the most about this. This kid had every chance, every opportunity in the world, and because some lowlife decided to, you know, run from the cops and throw his bag of dope, his bag of fentanyl and heroin somewhere, and his pills and all these painkillers, throw them somewhere to get away from the cops, and now this little boy's life ended because of that. You know, I just can't live with that. That's not good. That's not where I see is right. It's as simple as that. If you would want your kids to stay away from it, why not? Or you would want your kids to be prevented from enduring these kind of things, or finding these kind of things, or even your family enduring this kind of thing. Because it's sad. If I lost one of my kids, I'd go crazy. I'll be 100% honest. I'd go crazy. God knows what I would do. But, you know, think about it. Put the shoe on the other foot. If it's not your kids, then think about other people's kids. You know, what would happen? What would their parents think? How would they feel? You know, the first thing to understanding what people are going through is exactly that, is to understand what they're going through. Put yourself in their shoes, and then do what you would do for your own kid for them. It doesn't mean, you know, stop drug dealers or go out there and put your life in danger, but it means, you know, take in some, you know, if you see some kids around that don't have as much as your kids have, or need some help, take them in, man, help them. It's, you know, see all these kids that are 10, 11 years old hanging out with gangbangers, and then, you know, they end up getting killed by the time they're 15, 16 years old. That's not right. Or they end up in prison when they're real young. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I moved out of California, as you guys know, so that my kids could have a better life. They don't have to deal with the colors on a street getting shot because you're wearing blue on a certain street, or yellow on a certain street, or, you know, you're a different color, or they associate you. People mistake you for being somebody else. I moved my kids out of that stuff. I mean, I miss the beach. I would love for my kids to grow up to surf and do what I did, skateboard, and be around the ocean. And, you know, because something with the ocean is addicting. I'll be honest. It'll change your life forever, 100%. If anybody gets out there and learns to surf and goes to the ocean, gets a chance to go to the beach, man, it'll change your life. I guarantee it. But I got my kids out of there because, you know, it's overridden with drugs and gangs and crime. And you never know. You could be sleeping with your family snuggled up and watching a movie, and one of your kids gets killed, you know, from a stray bullet through a wall. So, you know, we got to start preventing our kids from going through these kinds of things. I mean, it's hard to say that because our kids are going to rebel and they're going to do what they want to do. But, you know, be active in your kids' life. That's what I'm saying. Be active. I'm 100% active in my kids' lives. There's things that I've done in the past that I don't promote for them to do now. And I get on them. I chew them out. But as far as that goes, yeah, I'm going to appreciate you guys' time, and just think about this, man. Leave me questions and comments. Let's get this Talk It Out Tuesday thing going. Give me your thoughts and your opinions on my comments, or send me some emails, or DM me on Instagram, or post it on Instagram, on my Instagram, and let me know what you think, how you feel about this stuff, how you feel about what I'm talking about, how you feel about I mean, possibly how your life is going, or if you need any advice about how to deal with your kids or certain situations. Don't be ashamed to ask, because no question is a stupid question. I don't know it all, and I'm not saying I know a whole lot. You know, I'm not the smartest guy in the room, but definitely I do have a mind, and I have an opinion, just as everybody else. So, till we see you again, thanks. And stick in a string, we'll see you soon.